of virtual reality, not even 3D. This one's virtual reality of. It's called Sites in VR, and so it's got mosques, got tombs, got palace museums, and you can search up the countries. And I'm sure there's a lot. Sana'a, there's Badr as well. So the Maqam of Badr, you can see that, and it's like a whole virtual reality. It's amazing. Yeah, you can see Badr. I'm just checking through Badr, and you can also zoom in and out. It's wonderful. So that's the martyrdom of Badr, and then there's all sorts. There's also some other places. Konya, there's Mecca, and there's all these sites in Mecca. Arafat, birthplace of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Jannat al-Mu'alla, the Masjid al-Day'a, Masjid al-Nimara, and there's Mount Thawr, Mount. So the Mount of Hira, as you can see, people on the foot of the mount just looking up. It's wonderful. Alhamdulillah. And thank you for that reminder. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting videos. There's a video of the chamber of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also there. Inshallah, let's move on so we can finish on time. So hadith number 38 is attaining nearness to Allah and His love. حديث الثامن والثلاثون عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله تعالى قال من عادى لي وليا فقد آذنته بالحرب وما تقرب إلي عبدي بشيء أحب إلي مما أفترضته عليه ولا يزال عبدي يتقرب إلي بالنوافل حتى أحبه فإذا أحببته كنت سمعه الذي يسمع به وبصره الذي يبصر به ويده التي يبطش به ورجله التي يمشي بها ولئن سألني لأعطينه ولئن استعاذني لأعيذنه. Rawah Bukhari. So this is the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this hadith is about attaining nearness to Allah. So Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah the Almighty has said, whosoever acts with enmity towards a closer servant of mine, really I will indeed declare war against him. Nothing endears my servant to me than doing of what I have made obligatory upon him to do. And my servant continues to draw nearer to me with supererogatory nawafil prayers so that I shall love him. When I love him, I shall be his hearing with which he shall hear, his sight with which he shall see, his hands with which he shall hold, and his feet with which he shall walk. And if he asks something of me, I shall surely give it to him. And if he takes refuge in me, I shall certainly grant him it. So enmity, war, draw near to me, most beloved. So scholars have said that this is the most noble hadith in describing the friends of Allah. So people that are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is a mighty important hadith. So this hadith gives us the methodology of becoming from the friends of Allah and the consequences of being from the friends of Allah. So due to its importance, scholars authored books on it. Imam al-Shawkani wrote a 500 plus book on this 500-page book on this hadith. So again, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this hadith, the warning that let people be warned that to do a harm a friend of God is to declare war on God. The meaning of this hadith is referring to the one who shows enmity to wali due to the friendship and alliance shown to him by Allah. So it's a bit of maybe. And my servant does not draw nearer to me with anything more loved to to me when religious duties are obligated upon him, indicating we don't place the voluntary nawafil before the obligatory. So the fara'id are the most important, that should be our priority. And then the nawafil, other things that we do, that is second. They're also important as well. And the nawafil are named as such because they are performed after the obligatory deeds have been completed. God loves the obligatory deeds the most. So they're the most important. And how do we attain God's love? So when the slave becomes persistent in seeking his nearness through the voluntary acts, then his causes God to love him. And this is a simile. One who performs the obligatory optional, and the one who doesn't is like a master who gives his two slaves money to buy some food. One bought some fruit, placed in a basket, and sprinkled some herbs and sweet smelling plants on his own accord, then placed it in front of his master. The second bought food in the orchard, and came and placed the fruit on the ground in front of his master. Both were obedient, but which one is going to be more beloved to their master, the first or the second? Incredible. The object of God's love. In the first part of the Hadith, it states that the religious duties are most loved by God. Then, when the voluntary acts are added, the object of love becomes the servant. So Allah loves you more than you have ever loved Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq, inshallah, to be able to look into these ways of attaining closeness and nearness to Him. And the signs of a friend is a sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala supports him. When I love him, I am his hearing with which he hears, and his sight with which he sees, and until the end of the hadith. So this means this is a sign of support. It doesn't mean that you're actually hearing, but it's a sign of special gifts from Allah. Does not hear that which does not permit him to hear by the Sharia, nor does he see that which is not permitted by the Sharia, nor does he grasp with his hand that which is not permitted, nor does he hasten with his legs towards anything except which the Sharia allows him to hasten towards. All of this is also the basis and reason of being loved by God. God is with them in all they do. So in the spirit of asking, when we're asking, you have to be in a state of humility. And his statement, and we're here to seek refuge in you, surely granting refuge, shows that even after the slave becomes amongst the beloved of God, he doesn't stop asking his Lord to satisfy his need or seeking refuge in him from those whom he fears. And even though God is able to give him what he desires before his asking him for them, this is the essence of indebtedness and slavehood before God. Although we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything, but still we ask, we keep asking. And in summary, increases in purifying your heart and conduct many righteous actions so that may be from the friends of Allah. So don't just rely upon your fara'id, but also do your nawafil and increase that, especially with Ramadan approaching. We've got 2 weeks before Ramadan approaches. It's going to be, inshallah, wonderful time. The enmity can occur between us and the scholars and amongst ourselves, so we should be aware of falling into either. Our disciplinarian brother was talking about an incident that unfortunately has happened in Bangladesh, where one of the girls was in her last year of Alim course, and the principal invited her to his office and did a few indecent acts with her. And she went and told her family first, and then told the police department. And a lot of people were against what she was doing, thinking that she's maligning this person, and she's this, she's that. She actually, she didn't take her finals yet, so she had to go in to take her finals. And her brother told her, listen, there's already been a few death threats given to you, so be careful. Can I come with you? Listen, no. It's in the hands of Allah. Life and death is in the hands of Allah. And she went, and after finishing her exam, one of the guards called her and took her and guarded Okay, and they took her to the roof of the madrasa, and they put oil on her and burned her. She had 80% burns on her body. After 3 or 4 days of fighting for her life, she died. So they were trying to cover up what the principal had done, and uh, the people are out in the streets in Bangladesh now protesting on what's happened to her. Not protect us. Beware of waging war against Allah, harming His believing slaves. And know that the most beloved actions to Allah are the obligatory actions, and strive to attain the love of Allah by fulfilling the obligation, increasing in the recommended acts. So here, when I mentioned this story about the story of Bangladesh, just saying that may Allah protect us from these these actions. And now this beloved daughter, beloved sister, beloved auntie maybe as well, has now lost her life due to the action of some people. People have put their trust in their hands. And maybe she was not the first person to be sexually harassed like this, but she was maybe one of the first to speak up. Divine pardon. So this hadith is talking about divine pardon, unintentional show of mercy, the limits of man's manifestation. So hadith التاسع والثلاثون عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن الله تجاوز لي عن أمتي الخطأ والنسيان وما استكرهوا عليه. حديث حسن رواه ابن ماجه وبيهقي في سننه. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Truly Allah has for my sake pardoned the mistakes and forgetfulness of my community, and for what they have done under duress, to pardon, overlook for me on my behalf mistake, forgetfulness, duress, and forced." So this hadith establishes the principle that the religion came to remove harm, and establishes the special virtues given to his nation, as the previous nation were held accountable for everything that they do. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Ahzab, "There is no sin on you concerning that in which you made a mistake except in regard to what your hearts deliberately intended. And Allah is ever oft forgiving, most merciful." So this is talking about the unintentional things that we may do. And this hadith is a follow-through to a discussion on intentions. So we learned about the first hadith being about intentions. Now we're coming towards the end, and Imam Nawawi again is reminding us about intention and doing something that's unintentional. Mistakes, forgetfulness, and core are outside of the realm of conscious intention, being forced to do something outside. God is not trying to catch you on a technical. God is not out there. And unfortunately, a lot of parents, a lot of people, they portray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as being, unfortunately, shouldn't even be comparing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like this, but like a police officer hiding somewhere to try and get you. No, Allah's not like that. We should remind believers that God is merciful and not looking to find unintentional errors for which to punish. He has pardoned those already. You've been forgiven. So now the limits this discussion pertains to the liability for sin and punishment. There are legal conditions in which one has to correct errors and forgiven and forgotten actions in worship. And man's manifestation. He excuses everyone who harms him, particularly those who do so in error. Doing good for those people instead. He sees God doing good in this world to the disobedient, to the rebellious unbelievers, rather than bringing punishment swiftly. And the one who repents of wrongdoing becomes like the one who did no wrong. So repent back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in repentance. We should have a healthy understanding and good opinion of God and His central attributes of mercy. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Hold a good opinion on your Lord." And that means that opinion is that your Lord will forgive you. We should also desire to show mercy in our own way. Praise Allah for overlooking mistakes, forgetfulness, and force from actions carried out by His nation. Always seek forgiveness from individuals when you wrong them, even if it is unintentional, as they may not forgive you, and seek retribution on the day of judgment. If you are forced to do something, ensure you are always discontent with it in your heart. So inshallah ta'ala, these we're not going to do because next week is our final. Maybe I've opened it for today. I'm going to check inshallah for a whole week. I've opened it up. Let's move on to our last slide of this semester, inshallah ta'ala.